In the 1800s, the federal government wanted to assimilate Native American children into the modern culture. Thousands of children were taken off the reservations, ripped away from their mothers and fathers, and shipped to boarding schools in different parts of the country. The goal was to make them forget their native culture and become modern Americans. This is the story of how Runs with Bears became Joe Tanto, who went on to use his American education to his advantage and protect his people's way of life.
No, I will not submit. I will struggle first.
Hold still, you ornery redskin! I'm gonna cut you if you don't hold still!
No, not my brains. You're gnawing at my brains.
You're gonna straighten up, young man, and forget that savage way of life that you've been living.
You may be able to take me from my home, but you will never be able to take my home away from me.
It used to be Shiny Lily, but they changed it to Sarah. I don't like it very much.
They changed mine too. It used to be Runs with Bears, but now it's Joe Tanto.
That's a nice name. Makes you sound very white.
Shut up. I hate this name, and I hate my new haircut.
Yeah, they make me wear mine in a bun now, and my feet are freezing without my moccasins.
Yeah, I hear you. They have stripped us down and are forcing us to assimilate.
I miss our old way of life. I just want to go back to the reservation and play dolls with my sisters.
I really miss my family too. I'm sure my father is having a hard time providing for the family since I've been gone.
I saw something on the reservation a few days before they came and got us, but I'm not sure what or who it was.
I heard the chief talking about something the other night. He said that the white geologists are coming because they suspect there's oil on the reservation.
What does oil look like, Runs with Bears?
Well, I'm not positive, but I heard it was a dark, thick liquid that comes up from underneath the ground. My father says that it is Mother Nature's lubrication, and that white people will kill and go crazy for it.
That sounds silly. Nothing is worth keeping alive for.
They are going to hurt our tribe and hurt our family if they don't leave the land. And the only way to beat the white man is to play by their rules. Someday I will get my revenge and take back our people's land. It's a national quest dictated by the economic motives. Europe is hungry for raw material, and America and our native land is abundant source of these materials.
I'm scared of what's to come, Runs with Bears. We have to do something.
I know, I plan on making something out of this education and turning it around and using it to protect the tribe. My mother always told me to remember the plants, trees, animal life, and who have all tribes and histories too. I promised her I would.
Children, you are forbidden from rolling around in the dirt. Go to your bedrooms until supper time for punishment. Joe goes on to graduate from the Indian school at the top of his class. He takes the LSAT and scores extremely well. He gains the attention of Professor Snape at Harvard Law School, who decides to take a chance and admit him as the first Native American law student at Harvard.
And for letting me have a chance to become a lawyer, Professor Snape.
Of course, Joe. Anyone with your brain deserves higher education. What interested you in becoming a lawyer in the first place?
Well, I was taken off my reservation when I was a child because white men found oil on my people's land. I've always vowed to get my education and take back what's rightfully belongs to the native people.
Well, if you ever need help with anything, be sure to get a hold of me. I know lots of people in high places.
Thanks, Professor.
All rise. Plaintiff, please state your case.
I'm here representing my Native American tribe to bring the case against the Standard Oil Company for ripping my people off our land to drill for oil that was in our ground. We were the first, so all the oil they made money off of belongs to us. We have no interest in that though. We just want the land back. We want to go back home. You white people are cold, and there's a wicked ice forming in your blood.
Defendant, please state your case.
We think that the Indians can go live somewhere else, and that the American people have the right to the oil that is underneath the reservation.
Hearing both parties' opinions, I rule in favor of the plaintiff and demand that the Standard Oil Company remove all their equipment and vacate the premises
his culture taken away from him and was forced to assimilate. But when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. And that's just what Joe did. Joe used his education from the whites and beat them at their own game in order to save his native people's land and way of life. Joe's tribe is now one of the wealthiest Indian nations in the country, and still to this day prospers on the ground that Joe fought for.